Alright, this is normally where I introduce myself and try to find some clever way to segue into today's video topic, but I'm not really in the mood for niceties today, so I'm just going to get straight to the point. Datto recently released a video where he talked about current issues with Destiny 2 raids, including their difficulty level and the lackluster loot that they provide. In it, Datto believes that Destiny 2 raids have become too easy, especially once contest mode has been turned off, and he proposes bringing back raid difficulty modes from Destiny 1. Also, Datto proposes a mechanism for players who have already completed their raids for the week to replay said raids and continue to earn loot, albeit being non-powerful. At first, my inner Destiny 1 fanboy flared up in excitement and was going, yes, I completely agree with everything he's saying. Even the Destiny 2 raiding community at large is all behind Datto's proposition. However, I had to eventually rein in my inner Destiny 1 fanboy and turn on my objective and reasonable side to see the big picture of things. And the big picture is that what Datto and the raiding community are asking for is presumptuous and unrealistic. Now you're probably thinking, whoa there Bojacx, how did you reach that conclusion? You just went from 0 to 11 real fast. Well, all I had to do was look at the raid completion data from the original Leviathan raid up to Scourge of the Past. And then everything made sense. Why the raid loot's been sucking. Why there haven't been additional difficulty modes. Why the raids, quite frankly, don't look as amazing and astonishing as they used to with brilliant artwork and design. There simply have not been enough players that have completed the existing raids for Bungie to justify the cost and resources to put effort into the newer raids. You don't believe me? Well then allow me to share some data with you, albeit with the disclaimer that it might be a little, well, dated. But to my knowledge, still relevant to this conversation. Now, based on the Destiny 1 raids, a good benchmark for community completion of a raid is 50%. That's the passing grade. If the completion number is higher than 50%, well done, Bungie made a good raid, the community did their due diligence and got people through it. Amazing. If it's lower, something's gone wrong. So, let's look at the data. The original Leviathan raid on normal, 46.5%. Fail. 14.63% for Prestige. Fail. 29.4% for Eater Worlds. Fail. 10% for Prestige Eater Worlds. Failure. 13% for Spire Stars Normal. Failed. 4% for Prestige. Fail. 31.4% for The Last Wish. Failed. 20.7% for Scourge of the Past. Fail. Need I continue? Every Destiny 2 raid's completion rate has failed to meet the benchmark. This is unacceptable. It's no wonder Bungie doesn't want to put any effort into new raids. Look at this. What the hell happened? Don't answer that because I know what happened. If you don't have 5 or more friends playing this game with you, you're not raiding. Oh, I can hear the angry comments coming now. But Bojacx just used LFG and everything is fine. If that's your response, you live in a bubble, and you are woefully out of touch. LFG is a massive industrial dumpster full of toxic waste that's on fire. You shouldn't be using the dumpster, you shouldn't be going near the dumpster, and if you do use the dumpster, you may as well be prostituting your patience and time with no reward or return at the end. So, if LFG is so bad, why don't we just default to the usual response, which is, fix it, Bungie! Oh wait, they did fix this. Kind of. It's called guided games. What's that I hear? Use the thing that's in-game that takes you almost 2 hours to get a team together? Why would I do that? Well, let me tell you a dirty little secret. Guided games only takes as long as it does to pair you up with someone because the player population using the system is so low. If we could get those population numbers to go up, things will get a lot better. Hell, we got a whole new batch of new light players that we need to sell them on the idea of raiding. This is the perfect opportunity to boost that population. Now, is guided games perfect? Hell no. But can it be shaped like clay into something great? Absolutely. But let's fast forward a moment. Say we do boost the guided games population. What's gonna stop the toxic waste from LFG from spilling over into guided games and just blighting the whole thing like a cancer? Well, that's what the built-in Oathkeeper system is for. What you see in front of you now is the Guardian Oath. This is the oath that you agree to before you enter into guided games. Now, in all honesty, all Destiny raiders should abide by this oath, not just the people in guided games. Because, in guided games at least, if you habitually break this oath, you get banned. That ought to filter out the toxic waste right quick, and distill the population down to the players who truly and earnestly want to raid, which I guarantee is over 50% of the community. And what will that translate to? Higher raid completion rates. And then what will that translate to? Bungie seeing an upward trend in the data and actually wanting to give a shit about making better new raids with better loot, higher difficulties, even alternative difficulty modes. But we have to get our act together. This whole thing with the most hardcore raiders sitting up in their Twitch and YouTuber and clan moral high ground bubbles complaining about everything because it doesn't suit them needs to end. It's destroying the Destiny raid experience, and if these completion rates continue the way they're going, where it's on a downward trend over time, Bungie will no longer see the wisdom in even making new raids. Remember, Bungie doesn't have Activision publishing Destiny anymore, and everything's coming straight out of Bungie's coffers. They have to think really hard on what's good for business. And if these completion rates continue to nosedive, future raids will be on the chopping block. I guarantee it. And if it does happen in the future, you can come back to this video in 2 to 3 years and then I'll say, I told you so. But let's not have it come to that, shall we? So here's your homework, class. Solo players. If you are perfectly content with the way things are and you don't care about raiding, well then, you don't need to do anything. But for you other solo players who want to raid but you're just put off because of the stigma that's been behind it, pull your pants up, go talk to your IRL friends, and try to convince them to come play Destiny 2 with you and get a raid group going. If you can't do that, go into guided games and use it, please. I've had personal good experience with guided games, with guides that were very pleasant and they actually wanted to help you. Just put yourself out there, please. Stow your fear. It'll be fine. Just, for Christ's sake, don't use LFG, or you will regret it. Raiders, if some of you have been good Samaritans and you've been sherping people through, you're doing your job. Keep on doing it. The rest of you, if you got a stick up your ass, you need to remove it, put your self-interest aside for a few minutes, and start being a little more welcoming to the solo players who are less fortunate than you. Pay your dues, instead of thinking only of yourself. And finally, Bungie. I know that I'm small and minuscule on the grand scale of things, but if you are watching this, there is something you can do too. Revisit your guided game system, advertise it aggressively to the new light players as something that they want to use, and revamp it for the guides. Give them more of an incentive to, well, guide people. Because right now, an emblem is not sufficient reward, okay? If you could just do these things, that would be mighty kind of you. So, do we know what's at stake? Do we know what we need to go do? Because I hope so. So get out there, do your part, and let's have fun raiding in Destiny again. Make raiding great again. You got that? Then be gone with ye. I'm done ranting for the day. I'm going back to the moon to shoot some aliens and leech off someone else for the tire game triumph. What? Don't judge me. Shoo, get out of here.